Hello everyone, stazima here, back again with another episode of Quickfire. If you are new to this series, I thank you for joining me today. I have 30 seconds to talk about a news item, some speculation, first impressions, rumors on various things going on in the gaming community. Mostly gravitates around Halo though. Halo 4 is fast approaching. In just a few short months it will be here, and when that happens, that's when the real fun begins, when we get to dissect it endlessly, get to go into the campaign, all this great stuff. But let's talk about the Promethean incineration cannon first. This is kind of like a successor to the plasma cannon from Halo Reach in that it fires multiple bullets at the enemy, and it's also kind of like a successor to the Halo 3 flamethrower, whereas it sets people on fire. It kind of sets the ground around it on fire. So when people walk towards it and when people walk into it, they get set on fire, they get a lot of damage done to them. That's nice because the plasma cannon in Halo Reach wasn't exactly that good, but I feel like the flamethrower aspect increases that a little bit. Next up, the Promethean enemies class has been fully revealed, and there are only 3 different types of enemies. There are the Knight, the Watcher, and the Crawler, but the difference is that there are many tiers of each enemy. For example, there are 4 different types of Knights, each more powerful than the other, and there are 3 different types of Crawlers, each more powerful than the other. They have different varying levels of shields, different abilities. Some move faster, some have different weapons, some can teleport and slap you up in the face. So I think that adds a lot of depth, whereas the Covenant, you only have like 1 of each type. Next up, the concussion rifle returns to Halo 4, and I have to admit that that is a surprise to me because I really thought that the railgun was going to act as the successor to the concussion rifle, much like the concussion rifle acted as a successor to the brute shot in Halo Reach. So that's a surprise to me. I'm not quite sure how the concussion rifle acts in Halo 4 yet because I haven't really seen it in action up close and personal, so we're going to have to wait on that. Next up, weapons like the Promethean light rifle and the suppressor are made to mimic the BR and the assault rifle respectively. Now, what's the point of all these different weapons? They're just pretty much like, it's just basically like a DMR that's retextured to be a Promethean rifle. It can't be like that. 343 has to really put some kind of incentive for people to use the light rifle and the suppressor, whereas in Halo Reach you had things like the carbine and stuff like the plasma repeater that people didn't really use because there was no point over the assault rifle. Next up, the capture the flag is a new kind of totally redone mode, whereas you cannot drop the flag, and that is a big thing because it also has auto pickup. So that's going to make people, I think, more timid to go near the flag and to actually get the flag, knowing that they cannot drop it unless they die or score the flag. So people are going to have to give up their weapons. They're going to have to really rely on their teams more. So I think that's going to make it might make the game slower. We're going to have to wait and see. Next up, theater mode is kind of, we haven't really heard a lot of it. I'm going to go off the assumption that it is in Halo 4. And a lot of people have been clamoring that in Halo Reach you couldn't watch movies with friends, and in Halo 3 that you could. So people really want to see that function back, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was not back because I feel like it's really low on 343's list of importance. It's really something that you don't really need nowadays with all the different YouTube and file sharing and all these different things. You don't really need to watch films with friends anymore. Next up, there is a remake of a map coming. Frank O'Connor stated that there will be 1 remake map in Halo 4, and it will be a big map. It will be a large big team battle map. Personally, I do not want to see any kind of Halo 1 or Halo 2 remakes in there. I want to see more of a newer Halo 3 big team battle map. Personally, either Sandtrap or Valhalla. Personally, I would love to see Sandtrap return. That was my favorite big team battle map of all time. Great, fun map. You'd be able to use the mammoths on that too, so that would be fun. Next up, Grifball has a lot of changes to it, and I'm kind of not sure until I play it how it's going to change out. But first of all, the rounds don't really act the same anymore. When you score the bomb, there's no explosion and you no longer die, and the bomb immediately goes back to the center. That can cause some problems, whereas people can just form up. If you're making a big attack and all your team dies, and then it just goes right back to the center after you score, they can just pick it up and make an easy score. Next up, a Halo 4 vid doc was released, and it had a lot of cutscenes and all this different stuff in the trailer. And people on various forums kind of pieced together the story of Halo 4 from this thing, and they could actually gain some pretty big spoilers on the Halo 4 storyline. Now, I have read it, and it can really ruin the story for you if you go into depth with it. So be careful about that. There are some spoilers out there. I will never spoil the story mode for you unless I clearly label it somewhere else. Next up, the pre-order sales for Call of Duty Black Ops are around 1.1 million right now, but that's because it's being released on 3 separate platforms. The Halo 4 pre-order numbers are around 600,000. Now, that doesn't really matter. The pre-order doesn't really matter because obviously we know Call of Duty is going to win in sales over Halo 4 overall and in pre-order overall. It doesn't really matter. It's more about the quality of the game, and I'm willing to say right now that Halo 4 is going to be a much more quality game than Black Ops 2. And that's all the time I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching as usual. Season 3 of Quickfire is actually in the works right now. Going to get a whole new style, a few new rules going in there for you. So keep on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.